Guess did you expect to be sitting in a UFC media day pay-per-view event this early in your career?
I mean, eventually I expected to be here, so it's better that I'm this early than later.
Can you compare 3 years ago? I mean, I know you had kind of an extensive amateur career as well, but can you think back 3 years ago, debuting in Missouri, regional scene? Did you think like, yeah, pay-per-view's probably coming up to me pretty soon, big numbered event?
When whoever does this sport, I mean, I feel like this is always the end goal, to be at this point in your career. So yeah, I've always envisioned it. When being here, being in the environment, it feels like it always was supposed to feel, like, hey, this is where we wanted to be, and this is where we are now.
Nice. You debut obviously against a veteran brawler, well-respected vet. Now you're in against the new kid with all the hype and all that. So I'm curious, like, how do you look at that? Do you look at it as like, well, cool, they must think something about me if they're matching me up like this? Or do you like, man, could I get maybe a little, ease me in a little gentler in here?
I don't think I showed like what I wanted to show in my debut, obviously, because of short notice. But, yeah, I feel like they, must have some kind of respect, you know what I mean? He got a knockout in his first fight, and they want to, make sure that he's the real deal. So they put him up against the biggest test of his career so far, and so we're going to find out.
What do you think about it? I mean, he's certainly not short on confidence. We've seen that. I mean, do you feel like he is the real deal and this is a tough test for you, or do you feel like he's been getting a little ahead of himself? What's your evaluation?
I feel like just because of how the fight went of his first one, yeah, maybe a little bit ahead of yourself. You get touched up that many times. You come out just barely with a knockout of 4 seconds left. Maybe a little ahead of yourself. It was a good knockout. Nothing off his back. But I definitely feel like, I've never been. To me, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? So I don't care who they put in front of me. You know what I mean? I'm always gonna be that guy, and they're gonna have to prove to me if they want me to think that they're that guy.
Yeah. So I guess I wonder like how you enter this one mentally. If it's like a little chip on the shoulder, like he's the one getting all the interviews, all the attention, I mean, is there any of that, or is there like a need to prove something? Like, what's the emotion as you come in?
Not really a chip on my shoulder so much as he's getting all the media. I'm not really caring about the media. I'm here to fight. This is why I got into the sport, to punch another person in the face as hard as I can and watch them bleed. So that's what more chip is, my debut. I had it on short notice. I didn't get to show everything I was capable of. And this time I won't make that same mistake. I have 5 finishes early in my career, and I'm going to show people why I have 5 finishes.
Nice. Last thing for me, I guess, the way you see this thing playing out, you mentioned your finishes. He's got finish. I mean, this thing doesn't look like it's going to last real long. I mean, is that kind of what you're expecting as well?
I'm definitely expecting that. I'm definitely expecting us to go out there and war. I mean, I want this to be the best fight on the card. So I want us to both stand in there, trade with each other, cut each other open. Let's make this thing as gruesome as we can get it. You know what I mean? Give the fans something that they love to see and they'll be talking about for years.
Darian over here. We just saw Brian Barberina have an absolute classic with Matt Brown. It's an incredible fight. And I know when you fought Brian, it was on short notice and you feel like you didn't give everything you had, but do you feel after Brian's fight with Matt and getting that win that it helps your fight age even better? Because people forget it was a very competitive fight.
Yeah, I feel that way. And also, he's fought, Leon Edwards took him to a decision. He's fought Kobe Covington, took him to a decision. So for me to be able to go to that decision on such short notice, I feel like, yeah, it presents me as a big problem for this division, considering those Kobe Covington, Leon Edwards, and people like Vicente Luque are up in the top 10 of this welterweight division.
I know you don't necessarily look at it as a chip on your shoulder, but is there an advantage to coming in this one just feeling a little more free? Like all the pressure seems to be on him, and I know you're not really looking at it that way, but you're just kind of strolling in under the radar, and you get to go and do what you think you're able to do. How much of a benefit is that for you? Yeah,
I feel like it's a major benefit. I don't have to I guess kind of, my schedule's not kind of as set up as it is, people, want them to be on camera, hey, following them around, they can do all that. Yeah, like you said, all I have to do is focus on what I'm here to do, display my skill, and then go in there and fight. So, yeah, I do feel like it's a little more freeing to be under the radar.
And last question from me. I saw a post on your Instagram not too long ago, and I feel like it's kind of fitting here considering how people view this fight. But you said essentially that it's you against the world and you'll win every time. Can you kind of elaborate on that? Is that how this fight feels to you, or is that just how fighting feels to you?
Probably fighting in general, but yeah, I mean, I guess it works for this basis considering, there's a lot of odds on him. He's the favorite. And there's a lot of people who, just see me as, the 5-1 guy who, lost his first debut. But yeah, like I said, it's me against the world every time. And I'm going to show people that, I can do anything, with God on my side.